Hey everybody, welcome back to Lee's RCs. I know it's been a long time, but the world is crazy right now and there's just so much going on. I haven't had time to do anything fun, but temperatures are getting a little cooler here finally. I think we're done with all the hurricanes, I hope. But got old Herbie out. Was thinking about reviving this little guy, but I'm not going to do Herbie the Love Bug. I'm thinking just like a kind of a rat rod, 60s VW Beetle barn find kind of thing. He's already running and driving. Scott did that over on his channel. Probably 2 years ago was the last time we messed with this thing. But if you're interested in watching, we're going to take Herbie, get him going, change him up a little bit, and have a little fun. Take a little break from crawlers and do something a little different. So come on, let's see what we got. Alright guys, so here's the 1/6 scale Herbie the Love Bug. Some of you might have seen it before. Scott had it over on his channel on RC Terminator and helped me out with it a little bit. This was years ago, and little dude's just been sitting. So we got him functional. I had put a 1060 ESC in it to control the motor, and we replaced the servo so it has a regular hobby grade servo, not one of the ones that was either full left or full right. This one's actually a hobby grade servo. I think it was one of the 20 kilogram from Amazon. But I don't think I'm going to redo Herbie. I think I'm just going to do a regular bug. You can see it's all faded and yellow. It used to sit in my window at my house a long time ago, and this whole side got faded yellow. This side still looks pretty good. But I'm kind of over the Herbie thing, but it's a cool car, and I think I just want to make it like an old, VW Beetle. I'm thinking about like a light blue color, and then a little bit of patina, some rust on it, just to give it that old look. I want to definitely change the interior. The interior is pretty cool. It just needs to be detailed with some different colors, but as far as the seats and everything, the seats are pushed way forward. You can see the front seat. It's halfway up the door. It should be way back here, and this back seat should be back here. But the reason they did that is because the computer board was here and all the controls for the motor and the hydraulics that would raise and lower this. So all that's been changed now. We don't have any of that anymore. So I want to cut this up, move the back seat back, and move the front seats back to here so I can actually get a 1/6 scale like Barbie doll in here. So let me get the body off and show you what the chassis looks like by itself, and give you a little more idea of what it looks like underneath and what we did to it before. Alright, so I got Herbie flipped upside down. It's pretty cool. It's got independent suspension just like a regular bug, and it does have shocks. I'll show you that here in just a minute. This is where the old battery compartment was. I may continue to use that. I'm not sure. I don't remember what I did with the door, but it's just a square piece. I'm sure we could make something there and just put screws in it. It's kind of cool. It's got the exhaust. It's already got holes because there was a speaker here because Herbie used to make noises and play music and honk the horn, stuff like that. So basically just these screws go in the running boards from underneath. There's 3 on each side. You take those off, and then the whole chassis can come up out of there. And here's the body shell itself. You can see it did have lights and everything, which we're going to reuse. The steering wheel and the dash. I do have the windows, but I took them out before, just haven't put them back in yet. But we're going to strip all this out so we can go ahead and get it primed and painted. As far as the chassis, there you can see the interior is actually bolted to the chassis. A couple screws and that whole thing will come off, and then it'll just be the flat base. And then I can show you a little more about the motor and the front steering. Alright, screws are out, interior comes off. You can see this is all kind of one piece, but we do have the base here that's flat. So what I'm thinking is the door panels are separate, they can come off, and then I can just cut the seats out, the transmission tunnel, which is not really a transmission tunnel because the engine's in the back and a VW, but the tunnel here with the shifter and emergency brake, that can all be put in and moved back, and we'll just actually use this for the floor. This does provide some rigidity and stiffness for the chassis, So I'm going to definitely put it back in there, but I just want to, like I say, move the seats back. I may see if I can just cut and move the whole thing back like that and then just keep the door panels forward. I don't know, but I do want to redo the interior and get rid of this back tray because this seat should be way back here. But like I said, there was a computer board sitting here. And we got rid of that circuit board that controlled it. These are the 4 motors that raised and lowered it. It would tilt and go up and down and do all kinds of funky things. But it does have shocks. So, you know, it is still independent suspension with little dog bones in there. Basically all I did, or actually Scott did when he had it, cut the wires that were going to the circuit board, put a couple bullet connectors on there, and then we just ran it to a regular ESC. And this was the steering servo that we did on the front. We have the same steering horn as stock, but basically what we did was take this apart and all the gears and motor that were in there, we ground that out and actually put a full-size servo in this case, pinched it together, and then, you know, it looks stock, but there's actually a servo inside this housing, and that worked out really good. So I'd kind of like to get these motors working, at least all 4 together. I don't care about it dancing in front and rear, but I kind of like it to, you know, look like it has airbags and get it to lay flat and then, you know, raise up to ride height. So I do want to see if I can get the 4 of them working together. I don't care about individual. Other than that, like I say, the old battery pack used to be back here, so I don't know if that'll be good to keep it back there or not. There's plenty of room. We can always cut this box out. So, you know, we could try to get a full-size pack in like that, or just use like a 3S and one that's a little bit smaller. This is still a brushed motor. I'm not sure what it is. It looks about like the size of a 540 can. What I'm thinking about doing, I have this Fusion 1200 SE motor, which would basically be the motor and ESC and everything, and just mount that in the housing, you know, not with this transmission, obviously, just the motor. And then, you know, you just have the one wire to plug in for your servo, and then your on-off switch and your battery leads. So I'm thinking about putting that in there. This is a 1200. It worked okay. I had it on the, what I was calling the Amazon crawler. And the 1200 really isn't great for that because I had portals, so it was reduced down way too much. So I needed to get to 1800 or the 2300. But I think I'm going to use that one either in the Remo Jeep right here would be good. Whoops. Put the 1200 kV motor in the Remo Jeep, or possibly use it in this. I'm thinking about using it in this just because then I won't have to have a receiver and all that kind of stuff. I can just have the motor. No, I will still have to have a receiver. I won't have to have an ESC because the ESC is built in. So there we go, guys. That's just kind of an introduction to the project. I've had it for years and years and years. I've probably had this for well over 15 years. And in the last 10 years, I've only messed with it a few times. Like I said, Scott had it on his channel for a little bit. We got the motor and the steering working. He actually took it to Disney and took it over there to the Disney Hotel with the big Herbie. I think it's All-Star Movies or something like that. So that's kind of a cool video. He did a little series on it. You might go check that out. I'll put the link in the description. But anyway, guys, that's what we're going to start working on now. We're going to take a little break on the crawlers, but I think I just want to do something different. You know, I'm kind of burnt out on crawlers. I want to get back to work on the Remo, just as a decent trail truck. If you don't have one of those, $200 for a pretty good truck is not a bad deal. I still love that thing. But we're going to do some old school kind of hot rodding stuff, starting out with an old VW Beetle and see where it goes. So next video will probably be working on painting the body, getting it sanded down, all the stickers stripped off, and then maybe figuring out these motors and how we're going to lay out the seats and everything. But that's what we're doing now, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.